When starting fitness, everybody is afraid of zero progress, and that's why most people don't even try. Once I took the decision to start training, I didn't know what was in front of me. I didn't know the level of discipline required to get a solid physique. A younger version of me tried something without any clue, but jumping in the unknown, while hearing it might be a lesson to learn from, got me screwed up in an endless cycle and made me zero progress. But not for long. A couple of years ago, I was potentially like you, starting to take up a good habit. As we all know, working out is one of our first habits people tend to engage in. And it's not weird. It's one of the most accessible sports for everyone, and it gets you visible results. But anyways, starting off was a struggle for me. I didn't know anything about performing different exercises, neither about nutrition and getting good rest. And yes, it can be overwhelming to think about all aspects of training, but they do matter. I thought only training will give me the physique of my dreams and the strength I saw on television shows. But guess what? Minimalizing effort will give you minimalized results. So there had to be made a change to finally make visible progress. While I learned this lesson, I got confronted with something else. There was a day I noticed it being one, if not the biggest mistake of all. I got to know that I needed to do things apart from my training, so the problem was the information I consumed. So as every curious teenager nowadays will do, is trying to educate themselves with YouTube. Nothing wrong with that, you would say, but it got to a point where getting knowledge became a struggle. I'd rather watch videos to entertain myself than to educate myself. So I'd mindlessly consume videos thinking I was doing a good job, while in reality I got absolutely nowhere. The things I called learning were never put into action. And guess what? I did thought that I was doing a good job trying to educate myself, so sacrificing my sleep for it wouldn't be a problem, right? I laid down every night with blue light shining bright inside my face, knowing I would wake up miserable next morning. And while the second day arrived, I woke up with bad and unhealthy sleep. I felt no energy inside my body, so the day began with some processed foods. To give me some energy is what I would always say. Meanwhile, I knew what I was putting in my mouth wasn't good for me. The terrible effects was something I wasn't fully aware of, but I thought I was somehow going to build muscle, while in reality my body had to focus on dealing with all the bad foods rather than building myself good muscle. The same day was a working out day for me. Yes, a working out day. I didn't have a clear schedule. I got to the gym and let the least busy place decide what exercise I was going to do. I didn't think of setting goals, neither making a plan to achieve them. So there was no way I could get anywhere. People like to compare it with a ship without a destination. And it's true. During that same workout, I knew I had to prove myself something, so grabbing a heavier dumbbell wouldn't hurt my ego. I knew nothing about the correct form, but managing to get the weight up was not a problem. Honestly, I was aware of the ego lifting and decided to just go lighter, but maybe even too light. When it got to a point where I was doing 50 reps, where my willpower and endurance gave up before my muscles did. You would probably say, "Bro, what are you doing?" But as a young teenager, you believed everything you saw online. Months went by and I was shocked by making almost no progress but the newbie gains. Maybe I should make a plan, and that's what I did. For the next hour, I sat down at my desk, finding the so-called perfect workout program for building muscle. And even though I find good ones, it didn't matter. As I chose one and decided to act on the program, I got stuck again in a cycle of repetition. Thinking with a plan would do magic, I thought 2 to 3 weeks was good enough for making visible progress. And bam, now my brain was often telling me, switch workout programs, this one isn't good. And yes, I listened to that little voice. From there on, I was trying different workout programs and all kinds of exercises. But as we all know, the workout program you stick with will probably give you the best results. So from there on, I decided enough was enough. Genetically seen, I was a pretty skinny kid, so seeing no visible progress was a punch in the face for me. This was the first thing that I really wanted to succeed in. No more playing around, and once that got in my head, my journey to achieving my goals began. So to keep it brief, how can you make good results is by avoiding all the mistakes I made. Maybe you recognize some of the mistakes. Maybe you wanted to do some of them, so I hope I've prevented you from doing them. Whatever you plan changing to make more progress for yourself, take a look back at this video and note down what mistakes I made so you don't have to make them. You've searched enough what to do, but you haven't searched enough what not to do. So hopefully this video opened your eyes to what you shouldn't be doing. So I hope you act on this.